Alright, then put the oil pump in. I usually upgrade to the steel collared oil pump dry shaft. This is a little bit better quality than the stock one. So you always want to make sure you put that in first. As long as your main cap here is clean and your oil pump is clean, you don't have to put nothing on there. Don't use silicone, it's not going to do nothing, it'll just blow out. As long as it ain't dinged, dented, and scratched, it'll be fine. Get that on there like that. I already set the height of the pickup tube with the oil pan, so this is good to go. With the gasket, it'll be, about a 1/4 inch off the bottom, which is what you want. Get my bolt. Got my bolt, a little bit of oil on the threads. We can torque that down. And it should be 65 foot-pounds, if I remember correctly. So, we will do that. Alright, that's on there. Usually I'll take a wrench on this, make sure these are tight. Most of the time they are, but it'll be your luck. Somebody forgot to tighten them at the factory, so better off doing it now than later. Alright. Now to pre-lube it a little bit, I just put some oil down the old pickup tube. Give this a couple spins. You'll feel it when it grabs the oil because usually it'll stop spinning. Yep, she's definitely going through there. So we're good with that. Alright, so that's taken care of. Oil pump's on. So next up will be oil pan. Still got to clean up all my bolts yet, but I'll clean them up and then I'll bring you back when we put that on. Okay, time to get the pan on. So I got my silicone here. And we'll put some silicone in each corner here, because that's where it's going to leak if it's going to leak. This has got one of those, this is a one-piece rear crank seal engine. This is actually an 86 motor. It's actually the odd one. It's got the one-piece rear crank seal, but still the old style heads with the perimeter valve cover bolts. I believe in 87, and they did with the down the center valve cover bolts. And I believe they also changed the intake bolt pattern, so the center bolts were straight up and down. I don't remember exactly, it's been a while. But I will say this is probably the second time I've only put one of these fancy one-piece oil pan gaskets on. At least on a small block Chevy. Everything I usually play with is 86 and older. Just chuckling to myself before, it's like, yeah, this is classified to me, as the newer motor, and it's an 86. I mean, holy crap. Now I feel old. Granted, I was 11 years old back then, but still, 86 was a long time ago. Well, that should do it. Got the corners gooped up. Everything else should be good. Because by rights, you should be able to put these on dry. That's their whole claim to fame. It's nice and clean. I'll drop this on here like so. And the oil pan's all nice and clean. Put this on. Like that. And you got these spacer bars. That one actually was in good shape. The other one, oh great, now where did I put it? Right here. This one here goes on like this. Get a couple bolts started. Alright, got all the bolts in. Just go around and tighten them up. Kind of doing this reminded me of a story. A buddy of mine, his brother-in-law, had it was a mid-90s Ford van. It has 306 in it. He drove it here from California, and it was just blowing oil out everywhere. It was pulling over constantly, putting oil in it from here to California, or California to here. So, you know, my buddy called me up, he goes, "You gotta take a look at this, you know, see what's leaking." So he brought it over here, and I'm looking at it, and the whole engine, the whole bottom of the van is just covered in oil. It's like, holy cow. Well, here it had this same kind of pan gasket, that rubber gasket. Well, here it was puking out everywhere. It's like, well, that's not good. And to get that oil pan out of that van would have been just a nightmare. So I came up with a plan. Bought a new gasket, loosened all the bolts out, and just dropped the pan down just enough where we cut the gasket in a spot where we figured we can get to it, and we cut it over here, because the rest of the set, I forget what side it was, with driver's side or passenger side. The other side was perfect. It was just one side, it was just like oozing out. The gasket was, I don't know what happened. So we cut that section out, siliconed it up really good, you know, put it all back together, let it sit for a day to cure out. And I remember telling my buddy, I go, there's no guarantee on this. I mean, it may work a day, it may work a couple weeks, you know. Who knows? That had to have been, oh man. Bet you that was almost 8 years ago. He's still driving the van. Still doesn't leak. Every time we see him at a family function of my buddies, you know, he's like, yep, van don't leak. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. So whenever I see one of these blue gaskets, you know, that's the first thing I always remember. But that was something different, that's for sure.